want your brain. I just want your heart. Yeah, I don't want your heart. I just want your heart, 'cause I want you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching First Kill, Season 1, Episode 4.
First date.
Boy, a lot happened. We picked up, like I said, where we left off. And it turns out that the Burns clan, the hunters, are worthless. Those spears, what was the thing with the spears? They were silver from,
yeah.
But it was a special kind of silver, and it was supposed to kill legacies.
It was like the first spear that first killed a legacy or something got melted, or a sword got melted down and like tipped all these spears.
Yeah, it didn't do anything, and they didn't answer, or I didn't catch if they explained why, whether that means that there was something wrong with the spears, or whether the legacies are...
I think it was just that they don't actually know how to kill legacy vampires. Because there was a comment made later where, between Eleanor and Margot, where Eleanor was like, Oliver would definitely tell them to like save his own skin. Yeah.
So yeah, we opened up with the vampires are getting their asses kicked, and then they came back around. There was a sports term.
Came back from behind?
Is that? I don't know.
Yeah. Don't try to do sports terms if you can't do sports terms.
Yeah, so they came back and really were letting the hunters have it. I was hating it so much because it was reminding me of when I went to go see Alien vs. Predator. Mm-hmm. Because Alien's so much cooler than Predator. But in the movie franchise, Alien is the bad guy. And I was like, oh
yeah, that's weird.
I don't like that.
Well, Tessa's parents got...
Your girl.
Extremely murdered. And she had the audacity as they're dragging her away to be like, maybe they're still alive.
There were two of them.
Impaled with their own spear into a tree. Mm-hmm. They are not still alive. Also, all of this was her fault.
I bet you're really looking forward to the rest of her arc.
I swear to God, if she has more fucking arc on this, no. I'm not into it. I'm not
into the dad either. From Punisher? Jack, is it?
From Punisher?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. He's too establishment about the whole thing. And we didn't get anything done until Talia got involved. And I was like, they're going to end up with like a shaky truce, Talia and Margot.
Well, the other thing too is that at one point Eleanor was like, it's a good thing we're a matriarchy about the vampire clan. And I was like, I feel like the hunters need to do that as well. Turn it into a matriarchy.
That's what it was. I literally, my brain was like wiped clean. I forgot what happened. So Sebastian was injured, and because he was made and not born, he was having a very hard time healing.
Like he was going to die.
Yeah, he was not winning the war or winning that fight. And Margot asked her mother, did the grandmother have a name?
Yeah, it's Davina.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Margot asked Davina to help him. And she basically said no dice. They made it clear that she sort of like runs this like vampire Illuminati, blah, blah, blah. But they were making a lot of to-do about how the other legacies are going to think that they lured them there to do that. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, like at all. And she was like, I have to do all this damage control and it's like all you and your family's fault. And I'm just sort of like, they didn't know. And you dragged us to this hunter infested, like, and I was like, they didn't know.
Well, if the accusation is that they were dumb or like that was a rookie mistake, then fine. But the entrapment part, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And also
none of them died. None of the vampires died.
But we did forget to mention in the last episode that Eleanor has her eyes on the Grand High Supreme.
Oh yeah, she wants to be the next one after Margot. And
I think it's going to bypass Margot.
Well,
she's not like...
She said, I'm second in line. Or like, after Margot.
Yeah, so
she's
is
next.
Charles.
But that was the thing for me, because that's why she was like, I'm not going to let Juliet, ruin this for me. So you have to make your first kill or the whole family will be like ruined, essentially.
And so Eleanor was able to negotiate with Davina, with her grandmother, to save Sebastian. As long as so basically she's gonna marry into the family that Margot was originally supposed to.
Yeah, which like I don't know why you didn't already.
Why that wasn't
put
already
that
well
in
into
place.
motion.
Yeah, that should have that should have been like like two old royal families like betrothing their children from birth.
I think that the family was properly kind of parted ways. Like they probably split. So this is Eleanor being like, I'll come back into yada yada. But so Davina did by taking the snake and putting it in Sebastian.
Yeah, so it's just I think worming around in there now.
It was really weird. We felt like we had missed a scene because he went from being like on death's door to just sort of like creepily stomping around with purpose, like and he knew where he was going and what,
menacing Juliet and Calliope
and Ben.
Yeah,
it was very odd. But his eyes, because I even was like, is this like one of those shapeshifter things they teased us with?
Yeah,
but
because you were right, Juliet didn't know he got injured.
No, but this is a weird recap. I feel like I'm doing a terrible job of this. Well, because we didn't really mention, because we started with Juliet and Cal basically went off and did their thing, and they ended up both killing that guy. What was his name? Oliver? No, Oliver's the son.
Clayton Cook.
Yeah,
because he was like working in cahoots with the guild in order to like take Calliope somewhere. And he taped her mouth, he bound her hands. It was like a whole thing. And so they basically, Calliope hit him,
Does the guild think that she's too much of a liability?
That seems like a rush to judgment after she asked one question. I don't know, man.
It's against the code.
I don't care for it.
And so they beat him and brought him to Ben's, where we met Ben's mother, I suppose.
Bunny.
He said Bunny.
He said mom.
Yeah, she needs her own spinoff. I don't know what that was, but we better see more of her.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why you bring in a character written like that and that woman to play the character.
Amazing.
And only give us that.
Yeah.
But so they found Clayton, and then Juliet killed him. She fed on him and killed him. We had the cliche scene where Juliet had to well she didn't come out to Ben. He saw it all happen. And that's frequently kind of one of my least favorite tropes. The show didn't handle it poorly, and I do sort of appreciate that at the very least we just went through it.
Yeah.
Like he didn't run away and we don't have to deal with 2 episodes of them not talking or whatever. We just sort of charged through it because he felt really betrayed that she had apparently come out to Cal first before him, to which I was like, well, fill him in that. I was like, Cal's part of it. It's not like she bypassed you completely from an intimacy angle. Cal kind of called her bluff.
And Cal even sort of helped and was like, I was equally shocked about what she was. So
he got there quick enough. Yeah. It was interesting. I did like the 3 of them doing their thing.
I liked them cahooting around because they went to go bury Clayton's body in the woods, and then Noah and Philippa stumbled upon them and they were like, what you guys doing?
So just kidding. Philippa's the best. She's well, and we lost a real one apparently with Ashley Stanton because we just keep getting nuggets.
Yeah.
She liked to drink in the woods.
Yeah.
And but no, Philippa was really doing a lot this episode with her minimal screen time. It was very strange. It's strange to me how much of characters they are, considering that they're not.
Yeah.
I'm somehow they're too much character, but not enough.
Yeah.
We've got 4 more episodes. I'm guessing we'll see them again. It was fun. And then there was that spontaneous bonfire party in which Cal and Juliet snuck off. And so basically they were wandering through the woods in Savannah, Georgia. And Juliet found a peach tree and was like, what kind of sorcery is this? What have you planted this?
Well, that's what Calliope said,
Or Cal, not Juliet.
But also just, those wild free-range peach trees that just grow everywhere.
Sure,
randomly.
But also don't peach trees just be in Georgia?
Well, in orchards.
Okay.
Yeah. It's it's uncommon to find just like a
in
wild
the woods,
peach tree
I imagine,
on the edge of the swamp.
But it would just be like you're like traipsing around Hawaii and you're like, where did this pineapple come from?
Sure.
And I was sort of like,
well, it's because
gestures lazily.
Like a little bit, I get it because she's like, it's from their dream and everything, and it's like it's such a. I mean, it almost was like the Roses and Chives from Once Upon a Time, where it's like that's not entirely how peach trees grow, and it's like perfectly manicured to be in like a wild area.
Well, I don't think it was real. I think it was symbolic.
I mean, they could both see it.
Well, they could both see it in their dreams too. It climaxed when they did.
It did.
Which, is there anything more romantic than plopping,
Plop, plop, plop.
thudding? It was like a horse had just
evacuated.
Yeah. I was like, and you were like I don't think that's
well, because it would be one thing if we cut over to it and it was like blooming or something, or the peaches were ripening.
I was gonna say all the peaches just like just spraying everywhere. Well, we still haven't earned this TVMA. Also, one of the so it's like mixed at best. Apparently, is the reception, and one of the dumb reviews was like, it said something about like how this was all for the male gaze.
Imagine.
Show me the straight men watching this show.
Imagine.
Point me to them.
No, I don't know. No.
No, I need to see if I can find it because you're not going to believe me. I was like, what?
There is nothing about this that is for the straight male gaze. Not 1 ounce of it.
Maybe Eleanor's like...
She's such a wicked stepsister.
But her dress, like, I don't know.
Absolutely not.
So the hunters have Oliver, and they were giving it to him.
The brothers.
He had a ring.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. I love this is what I want from my sci-fi.
I've not seen this before.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But it felt right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hadn't seen it before, but part of it was like, oh yes, this old tradition, this old fantasy trope. He, I guess, is like with a witch named Carmen,
which we are pretty sure is the woman who was at the party where Ashley died.
Mm-hmm.
They have the same hair,
and I mean, it's just so funny to me because it's like obviously this is the Netflix lesbian vampire show, but it's just wild to me how much everybody in my head in the show is gay. Yeah. Like when Oliver said something about his like lover Carmen, I was like, huh? Yeah, I was like, really? Yeah. But
it's weird to me too. He seems like he should be gay.
But he had a ring and it had like a red ribbon.
Yeah.
That went in. Like,
all
around. And they pulled it out. And then somehow Carmen either had it back or she had another one.
Yeah.
Basically, Sebastian was taking Juliet and Cal to like the meeting point, I guess. Well, he wasn't, though.
Well, because he said he was going to take Cal home. Mm-hmm. But also, I don't know how he's operating. I don't know what he's doing.
We really felt like we missed a scene.
Yeah.
And my guess is we'll probably start with it in episode 5 or something. But basically, what we assume is Carmen showed up in the road and she was like all like, like full Storm and X-Men. And she had the ribbon. And then Oliver, the Talia and Margot were meeting in like a parking garage to discuss
to exchange children.
Yeah. And Oliver grabbed the ribbon and like dove off the parking garage. And then he was gone.
Yeah.
And so it was very strange. And then Juliet and Cal ran off into the night.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what's going on with Sebastian. I'm interested to know what's going on with Sebastian, but it was weird.
I didn't want to lose him, but I'm also like, I don't want to keep him this way.
Not like this, yeah.
No. Although I do think it was necessary. I think it was good character development for Eleanor that she is that devoted to him. Yeah. She needs to have something.
Yeah.
That makes...
Because she kind of really took a hard left turn in episode 3 about Juliet and like trying to make her kill.
I maintain from her perspective that made sense.
Yeah. I just mean about
but from the
whole,
audience perspective, that was some villainy.
Yeah. Betrayment.
So, I think that's it.
That is mostly it. It was a pretty good episode. I'm glad Ben knows.
It was an odd episode.
Ben also was like, what is your mom gonna think? And Juliet was like, everyone in my family knows they all are also vampires.
That was very interesting. That's one of the things that I'm really enjoying is it's like the overall vibe of this show is kind of like cheesy and cliche, but we're getting really interesting nuggets within it. Like I like what that says about his character.
Yeah. That
like he was able to wrap his mind around vampire, but was then like, oh no, your family life. Yeah. It was really interesting. Those are the parts that are keeping me engaged.
Yeah, for sure.
Is the little flourishes they're doing like that.
Absolutely.
So, all right, well, we're going to watch episode 5, and then we'll be back.
Bye.